Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this virtual NAB presentation, the first session of our virtual NAB show. Of course, it's not the same this year. We would have loved being with you in Las Vegas and spending time with you on the booth, but we are still excited to be able to show you today what we have been working on these last weeks and these last months. Just before we get started, you have a chat box in the webinar window where you can put your questions during the presentation, and at the end of the presentation, of course, we will answer all these questions. Second thing, I want to say a big thank you to all the Woody teams, marketing, developers, technical teams, and all our partner teams as well, who made this possible in these unusual conditions and unusual situations. So today we will not speak too much. We will show you demos, show you products, and I hope that you will enjoy it. So let's get started. Today, just quick introduction for people who don't know me yet. I'm Aurélien Brel. I'm the co-founder and the global sales manager at Woody Technologies, and I'm really happy to have you today for this presentation. Quick highlights of what we will be talking about today. We will talk about remote ingest from any device, which is something quite relevant in these days. We will talk about search on social networks and how to work as a broadcaster with content coming from social networks, and we have exciting news to share with you for that. And we will talk about live feeds capture, SDI and IP live capture, so stay with us because that will be really nice. We will start this session with the social networks and how to work better with social networks. Some of you know that we have a product named Woody Social to help broadcasters to do that. And today I am happy to announce that we have signed a partnership agreement with Nunki to renew and improve the search engine that is present in Woody Social, and that allows people to easily find social media content. So to talk about this today, I'm happy to welcome Quentin Lhomme, the CEO of Nunki. Quentin, are you with us?
Yes, is it working correctly?
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Quentin.
Okay,
Thank
hi.
you. Nice to have you today for this
Thanks for having me.
Great. So just before we show the product to the people who are watching us, could you tell us a bit about Nunki and about what you are doing?
Yes, of course. So we created Nunki in 2014 because on one hand, we realized very early that social media was becoming a decisive player in the spread of information. We can take several examples, like for instance, the Arab Springs, or even currently the coronavirus situation, for which social media are decisive, are a key player regarding the dissemination of information. So that's the first thing that we observed. But on the other hand, we also realized, discussing with several major European newsrooms, that journalists are wasting a lot of time searching through the different social platforms. There are even studies that are saying that each journalist can waste at least 2 hours a day looking for social networks and looking and verifying for the right social contents. So it's naturally because there are several platforms. All platforms have their features and restrictions. So it's very complicated for newsrooms to go through all the platforms and look for these different contents.
So Nunki is helping.
Exactly. So that's the reason why we created Nunki in 2014, in order to create a professional tool that allows them to save time, to facilitate their daily operations, professional tool that lets them search on different platforms at the same time and do the basic verifications very easily. So Aurélien, I will let you go through all the details, but I'm very happy and very excited about this partnership because we are going one step further in order to empower journalists and let them focus on what really matters.
So are we. So are we. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you very much for this introduction. So
Thanks.
we'll now get back to the product presentation. As you will see right now, the nunki search engine integrated in Woody Social is really a great tool to improve the search and ingest of social content. So let's go to the demo now. I am connecting to my Woody Social user interface and load the new search engine powered by nunki. Here we can see that on top of the window, we still have the trending topics filtered per region or per country that you can configure. And on the left-hand side here, we have the three types of search that we can run. Search per location, per keywords, or per list of accounts, which was a frequent request that we had from our customers. Let's start with a search per location. We will have a look at what happens, for example, in Manhattan, New York, and what is the latest content that has been posted in this area. So we can search here the location exactly. We can draw an area where we want to run the search, and we can select which type of content and on which network we want to run this search. Then just hit the search button and we will get the result of the latest content posted there. The content is displayed both in the column and also on the map if you want to know more precisely where is located the person who has posted this content. You can display more result by just hiding the map and preview directly in the user interface the content to select what is that you need for your ingest. What is also interesting, and it's a new big feature, is that you can get more details on the content itself. So if you click on the details button, you can see who has posted that, what was the latest post from this account, and if the content is localized, you can also get the street view of where the content has been posted from. What is also interesting for the fact checking is the reverse search. The reverse search by Google allows you to know if this content is original or not. So if it has already been posted on other websites, on other social networks. So it's really interesting for a journalist to know if this content is original or not. In my case, no result was found, meaning that this content is probably unoriginal. Now, maybe we want to save this search to come back later on to it. So here we can just type a name for this search and save it, battery park. And if we come back to our search list, we will see that the search is here. We can have multiple searches and it will be constantly updated and refreshed. So I will know if new content comes. Let's start a search per keyword. Here again, we can select the type of content that we want to search, image and video in my case, and we can have multiple criteria about the keywords that we want to apply. Here I will search for empty streets, and I will apply these to all the social networks in my list and run my search. Here I get my results and I can directly preview the content here without moving to another page or to the social network itself. And when I am happy with the content, I can just drag and drop on the right-hand side in my selection list the content that I want to ingest. When I am ready for my ingest, because I'm happy with this content, I can choose my ingest profile that was existing in the current version of Woody Social, you can configure as many ingest profiles as you want to address your various workflows. Here I have a workflow for Premiere editors and another workflow to ingest straight to Avid Interplay. Based on the profile you select, you can ask your users to fill in some metadata fields, and you can make these metadata mandatory. So these ways you can make sure that your content is properly indexed before ingest. Once you're ready, you just click on the process button and the content is downloaded, transcoded to your house format, and directly made available to your production environment. Good. Now we will save this search again so we can get the future result of this search in case there is new content coming in. The last option to search content is per list of accounts. So you can configure and define the list of accounts that you want to monitor and search regularly the content that comes for this list of accounts. So here I have configured the EU leaders list, and I can easily see my list, add some accounts if I need, or directly run a search for all the posts related to these accounts. And again, I can preview and select my content. So as you can see that there are many things that you can do with this new Woody Social integration with the nunki search engine. And if you have additional questions, because of course we cannot show you everything, you can just use the chat to type your questions. Just one feature to come in a close future about this is the interaction with Twitter users. That can be very interesting if you want to ask for authorization to use a content to a Twitter user who has posted the content, and you will be able to do that soon as well through the nunki search engine directly inside Woody Social. So that's really an exciting news that this new search engine will be available by mid of May in Woody Social. And if you want to try it, just get in touch with us, and we will be happy to organize everything. But this is not the only thing about Woody Social that I want to tell you today. We have also another exciting news, which is the release of our Google Chrome plugin for Woody Social. And I will show you now how it helps you to ingest faster and easier content straight to your production environment. So let me turn my screen sharing on. So this is the Google Chrome web store where you can find the Woody Social plugin already available just for our existing customers. This is compatible with Woody Social version 3.3 and later. So an upgrade might be needed on the Woody Social, but that's something easy to do. So what is this web plugin for? If you have already found a video on Instagram, on Facebook, or on another website that you want to ingest in your system, you might want to do it directly from the user interface itself. So here in my Instagram page, I can see that my Woody Social extension that is installed has been turned red because this website has been identified as a compatible website. And when I click on the extension, I need to, of course, connect first to my server. I've been logged out. And then when I will load a video, I will be able straight here to get the metadata of this content, again to choose a profile with the exact same configuration as I had before, and then add my mandatory or optional metadata to make sure that this ingest will be indexed in the production system, any PAM, any MAM, any shared storage that you have. So it's a seamless user experience to ingest straight from the page itself directly to the production environment. And of course, you can also monitor here what you have ingested before and what is being ingested now. So as you can see, this is super easy to ingest content with the Woody Social Google Chrome plugin. And one thing to add is as well, we keep all the metadata on the way. The author of the post, the description of the post, the original URL. So if you need to check things again later, you can easily do it because everything has been preserved in the target environment. One last thing I want to tell about Woody Social, and then we will talk about remote ingest. But one last thing about Woody Social is I want to show you this diagram of deployment that we are currently doing for a major US customer. These needs appeared just 3 weeks ago with the lockdown situation and the need of everyone working from home. And everyone in this case is in 7 different locations, 7 different offices. So what we've done here is that we have deployed Woody Social in the Azure cloud. So all the users worldwide can access Woody Social, can search for content, and the content is delivered to each of the offices where it's ingested by Woody into its server, our file-based ingest solution, straight to the production asset management system for the editors. So this is a global setup, very efficient, very easy to deploy. We've already deployed 2 cities in the last 2 weeks, and this is continuing now. So just to give you an example of what you can get and what you can do with Woody Social. Our next topic for today is the remote ingest, and remote ingest now from any device. And this is another very exciting announcement that we have for this virtual NAB edition. So I'm really proud of bringing this to you today. This is Woody Intuit Go. Woody Intuit is our global solution for file-based ingest, either manually or automatically. And Woody Intuit Go is the variant that we imagined for people working either on the field or in a remote office. Or on a smartphone, so anywhere basically. How is it architectured? So Woody Intuit Go users are all managed centrally in a cloud-based configuration service. That's really important because you do not need to deploy to configure individually each device, each workstation, or each laptop. All the configuration is remotely managed and constantly updated on the devices when they need to transmit something. The clients, the users, they can send videos, of course, but also pictures, audio files over various protocols that we support, including transfer acceleration protocols, straight to the production facility. In the production facility, of course, Woody Intuit server can help to ingest the content, media, and metadata into the media asset management system to make it available for the editors. So that's how this is deployed. Now, let me show you how it works for real. We will start with the mobile app that will be available on the App Store and Play Store for Android and iOS smartphones very soon. So I am now doing the demo from my smartphone, and I am replicating the smartphone on my computer, so you will be able to see what I'm doing. Just switch this on. So here you can see my smartphone, and I will start my Woody Intuit app. The Woody Intuit app, as I told you before, is connecting to a server, a Woody configuration server. So here I need to use my credentials to connect to my server. And based on these credentials, I can see that different profiles are offered to me. So I can have different profiles here. I imagine that I am a reporter working for a sports channel, and this sports channel has different offices. So let's say I want to send something to Helsinki now. Then I am asked to add some metadata to my content to make it easy to find in the target environment. So these metadata are completely customizable by the customer, and it can be different for each profile. So with one tool, with one app, you can address very different workflows and different needs. So here I'm asked about the sport. Let's say it's basketball, and my story, Nebo virtual NAB. Once this is done, I have to browse my phone to find some media to send. So here I can browse images, audio, videos on my Android phone. I will go to the videos and I will take some MP4 files to send. I can preview them here. I can rename them if I need. I can remove them from the selection if I made a mistake. And once I'm ready, I just hit the upload media button, and now my content is being uploaded to my server. So as you can see, this experience on the phone is really really easy and really straightforward. So now I told you that this is working from any device. So what happens on a desktop, on a Windows desktop, or soon on a Mac OS desktop, because we are also preparing a version of Woody Intuit Go for Mac OS. So on a desktop client, you can browse your content, you can preview it, you can do partial ingest, and with the same credentials, with the same profile, you can contribute for the other users of your organization. So let me now switch again to the demo screen to show you how it looks like. So I'm in my Woody Intuit user interface on desktop, and I'm just connecting with the same credentials to the same server, because I'm pulling the configuration dynamically from the central configuration server in order to have always the latest version of this configuration. So here again, you see I have my profiles: Berlin, Helsinki, Madrid, Paris. I choose Helsinki again, and I am able to browse the content that is available on my computer. This can be photos, videos, audio, camera cards that can be transferred either in the original format or with transcoding. So let's find some MP4 file for this demo. Here I've loaded that in the Woody Intuit Go user interface. Some of you already know this user interface. We want it very intuitive, very easy to use. We can create some sub-clipping here if we want just to send a portion of a clip. And of course, we can select if we want to send the entire folder, the entire card, or just selection of the clips. Here again, we have our metadata fields, and you can see that they are marked in red because they are mandatory. So we are preventing someone to forget adding the metadata, making sure that this is done before the ingest process starts. So demo virtual NAB from desktop. We are ready now. And now I click on process, and Woody Intuit Go, based on what the administrator has defined, will either transcode or only transfer the content to your central production facility. So as you can see, this is a very smooth and easy experience to get your content made available in the central production environment. So as we were speaking, the content was transferred to my Paris system, because I'm sitting a few hundred kilometers from Paris now, thanks to the lockdown situation. So now I'm connecting to my Paris Avid system, where I have configured the reception of this content in a Woody Intuit server. And if I refresh my content here, let me do this quick refresh. We will see that my content has been ingested directly in the production system with all the metadata, and this metadata can be used to organize the content. So obviously we have an issue here. Let's see if we have more chances here to see in my Avid system the result of my ingest. And with, of course, all the metadata and all the organization rule that you can define. So let's go to incoming media, into it. Now you can see I have my cycling folder and I have a basketball folder. This is the sports that I've chosen. The content has been organized per day as well. So this is all made automatically based on what you've defined. And then I have my demo virtual NAB here, and I have my content available here, properly renamed. I have my metadata that has been transported as well. So as you can see, in less than a minute, the content has been made available from my smartphone or from my desktop in my central production system. So this is really what Woody Intuit Go is offering, and we are really proud to have achieved this level of integration. What you should know as well is that the installation of this has been made drastically simple. Users can directly download the Woody Intuit Go installer from the central configuration server. So we are really trying to simplify this remote work for all our customers. The mobile app, as I said, will be available on the stores in 2 weeks from now, and we are doing a launch offer for the launch of this mobile app. So for any customer purchasing Woody Intuit Go licenses before end of June, we will offer the same number of licenses for mobile as well. So that was the second highlight, and now we will come to the third and the last one of this session. Again, if you have questions about what I'm telling you, just use the chat box, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So the third and the last highlight for today is the SDI and IP live capture. And Woody Ingest Live is the product that we've made for that. It's the result of a partnership and a close collaboration with Libero Systems. And this will allow you to ingest various kind of sources, SDI, but also IP sources straight to the production environment, again with very easy and intuitive user interfaces that you can easily manipulate. So just a point about the architecture before we start demo. Woody Ingest Live is composed by the video server itself. You can have as many as you need, and by the Woody Ingest Live scheduler, which is a web-based scheduler that can run on a separate server, and that will help you to plan the recordings. I mentioned the IP streams, but I should also mention, and you will see it in the demo, the Skype calls and the YouTube live feeds that we can record with Woody Ingest Live. And of course, as always, the Woody workflow engine on top of that allows you to transfer the content to the MAM environment and to start editing while the content is being captured. So now it's time for the demo. I'm happy to show you that. For technical reasons, due to the work from home, this demo has been pre-recorded, but I will be back in a minute. What you see here is the web user interface of Woody Ingest Live Scheduler. I'm in my web browser in Google Chrome, so this is the ideal solution for collaboration and management of all your recordings. Here on the left hand side you can see all the channels that have been configured on my system, and of course we can have channels across multiple video servers. Here we are managing 2 video servers with 4 channels each. We can see that we have different kind of channels. We have 3 SDI channels, 3 IP channels, and 1 NDI channel. So on the same system, you can manage various sources types in the same user interface. You have different ways to create recordings in this user interface. The first one is to schedule something for later. So you can click anywhere on the timeline, and you can plan a recording and give all the necessary metadata to do so. So here is scheduled recording. You can choose on which channel, the start time, the end time, and you can choose a profile. There is a default profile for each channel, but if you need, you can change the profile to something different. depending on the profile, the file will end somewhere different in the production system, and you can be asked to fill some metadata that you can totally configure according to your workflow. So here I have scheduled my recording, my correspondent recording for 5:30 p.m. Now you have a different way that is to trigger a crash recording in the system. So you can hit the red button here to start a crash recording. And what is interesting here is that as soon as you hit the button, the recording starts immediately. So no frame lost, no time lost. But the transfer to the production system will happen only when you have finished to fill the metadata here. So here I am feeding my metadata, choosing the agency's profile, adding a description. This is my description, and the source, let's say EBU. So now when I click on the save button, the file starts being transferred from the video server itself to the production system, which is super interesting because if you have a network failure, if you have a production system failure, your recording is not lost and it can be retransferred afterwards. Of course, the system, I mentioned it before, supports edit while recording. So this demo crash recording that I have started a few seconds ago, is it available now for editing in my production system? To know that, I am going now to my Avid Interplay system because my system is connected to Avid Interplay. And as I use the agency's profile, I go to the agency's folder and I can see that I have a folder with the date of today. And I have now a folder with EBU, the source I've defined. And here I can see that my recording is coming in. So as you can see, there is nothing lost on the way, and we can directly and very, very quickly start editing on my content. Now back to my scheduler. We've talked about SDI recording, but also IP streams recording. So how does it work? Here you have a URL button to define the default URL that will be defined as source for this channel. Here we have 3 YouTube feeds that have been defined. But maybe you want to record something different. So that's why when you are scheduling a recording job on an IP channel, you have this URL field here where you can add any URL of the stream that you want to record. I mentioned that we support YouTube Live, but it can also be UDP, RTP, HLS, Dash, and others. In the scheduler, you can also modify what you've planned. So you can extend or reduce the duration of a coming recording. You can move a recording to a different channel just by drag and drop with the control key. And you can modify also a recording that has already started to extend its duration or to reduce it. Now I mentioned the Skype call recording. So what I'm doing now to show you how it works is that I am now dialing on my phone to call a Skype user that is connected to my video server, to my Woody Ingest Live video server. And I have configured this server to auto answer the call. So now I'm dialing from my phone and the call has been answered. So if I go to my server, I can see that my NDI feed, my Skype NDI feed, is being retrieved and is being now recorded, not yet recorded, but available in my Woody Ingest Live server. And I can now start a recording either directly here from the thick client of Woody Ingest Live that runs on the video server itself, or I can start the recording also from my web browser where the thumbnails has been updated now. So as you can see, SDI, IP, NDI feeds really easy to record with the Woody Ingest Live and Woody Ingest Live scheduler. So I hope that you have liked this presentation of Woody Ingest Live. And again, if you have questions, it will be questions time in a minute. You can use the chat box to ask your questions. We've tried to keep this demo short to not bother you, and then of course we are happy to go further in details when you need. We have not shown everything about Woody Ingest Live. There is also VTR control. There is also black frame, freeze frame detection. Of course, you can configure multiple ingest profiles, as I told you in the demo, and apply all the naming and organization rules to the recordings to order them properly in the target system, and we can configure notifications as in all the Woody products. I didn't mention it before for Woody Intuit and Woody Social, but you can configure easily Slack notifications, Teams notifications, which is quite as well relevant now when everyone is using these collaboration tools. A last thing about Woody Ingest Live is that it exists on as a software only version for IP and NDI streams recording, or it's sold as hardware appliances for the SDI recording, of course. So that was our 3 highlights for today: remote ingest, social network search, SDI and IP live capture. There is a lot of other new stuff that we've been working on the file-based ingest, on the outgest, but we cannot, of course, show you everything in a single demo, but we are happy to organize one-to-one demo if you need. So just go to our website in the virtual NAB page, and you can book one-to-one demo if you want to go further on one topic or the other. So do not hesitate to do that. We are happy. First question that I see in my chat box is this session being recorded? Yes, it is. So you can find this session later on our YouTube channel, and of course we encourage you to share it with your colleagues. As I am taking your questions, I will also share with you some files in the files tab of the webinar window. I will share with you the latest product sheets of Woody Social, Woody Intuit, Woody Ingest Live, and also this presentation that you are seeing now as a PDF. So do not hesitate, download it, share it with your colleagues. That's done for that. And of course, if you do not download it now, it will be available on our website later on. So now time for your questions. So how will happen the upgrade for the existing user with the new nunki search engine? So we are offering, of course, a lot of new features with this upgrade, and we will offer to the existing customers an upgrade path to these new features to make them benefit from all these new features. And we will communicate on that as soon as the new search engine is released by mid of May. Second question from Hossam. Can you support multiple languages in Woody Social? That's a very good question. Maybe Quentin, you can help me to answer that question. Do you support multiple languages search in the Nunki search engine?
Yes, of course. We are supporting all the languages that you can search, usually on social networks directly. So it's the same.
Great. And just for everyone here to know, on the Woody processing side, we are used to work with customers that use Arabic and other alphabets, so that's not a problem to use this content in our tools. Another question from Matthew: is there a list of websites and social media that works with this? So we have 2 topics here. We have the search part and the ingest part. Maybe Quentin, you can answer about the search part. Which social media are supported?
So the social media that are supported for now are Twitter, YouTube, VKontakte, and Vimeo.
Yeah,
directly
VK,
on the Nunki search platform. Yeah, VK.
Yeah. VK is the great improvement compared to our old search engine, because of course all the Eastern European and Russian and Russia countries are working with this tool already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Quentin. I
Welcome.
think now we have questions about Woody Intuit Go. Can we export directly from Media Composer for Woody Intuit Go? The answer is yes. You can do a send to in Media Composer and directly load the sequence or the clips that you want to transfer in Woody Intuit Go. So Woody Intuit Go is really to send a raw material or edited stories. You can really do both with the same tool, which make it quite easy to use. Another question from Debbie. Can all these tools be integrated with other management system than Avid? Yes, we are a close Avid partner, but we are also working with many other MAM vendors, and we can integrate with Dalet Galaxy, EditShare, Grass Valley Stratus, or any MAM that you have. If we have not done the integration work yet, that's something that we are keen to do to make the workflow really smooth and integrated for this for our customers. Now a question about Woody Ingest Live from Michelle. Is it possible to edit during recording? Yes, of course. All the products, all the Woody products are supporting edit while ingest, either in Avid Media Composer or in Adobe Premiere Pro. So of course you can edit while recording. I will take still a few questions. We have a lot of questions. Thank you very much for your attention and for all your questions. It's a pleasure. How many SDI inputs are available per video server? Question from Samuel. Samuel, we have qualified appliances with 1 to 8 video inputs. So depending on the configuration, depending on what is necessary to produce in terms of high-res and proxy, we can choose one of our hardware appliances. And yeah, the answer to your question is 1 to 8, depending on the hardware configuration. Question from Olivier: Can the scheduler control a video router? So this is not something we have now, but this is a very important request that we get since we are showing this product. So we have this on the roadmap to be able to control a matrix, a video router, to switch the signals input. So I hope it will come very soon. Another question. Sorry, I have too many questions. Is it possible to play out a recorded file from the video server? So that's not something we have now, but we hope that this is something we can add in the close future. So do we support Facebook and Instagram? I think, I don't know if it's about Woody Social or about the Woody Ingest Live. So for the Woody Social, yes, you can ingest Facebook and Instagram content. For Woody Ingest Live, this is not something that we support yet, but we are working on this with our partner Libero Systems, especially for the Facebook Live ingest, and we hope that this is something we can add soon. Question about Woody Social again, about TikTok supports for Woody Social. So we have been looking at this recently, and TikTok is something we do not support for Ingest now, but we hope we can support soon. We know that we can support it soon. So this is an ongoing work, and we will make the announcement as soon as it's ready. But we are confident that this will be pretty soon. Question from Augusto: can live be sent using file accelerator? Very good question. So the recorded file that we have can be, of course, be transferred to a remote system. So this is something we can do via all the protocols that we support at Woody. This includes Aspera, Signiant, File Catalyst, and also to cloud storage, leveraging the cloud storage with Amazon S3 and Azure Blob Storage. So yes, we can transfer the recording the live recording using transfer acceleration. But just to be fully transparent on that, the technology used does or does not allow to transport the growing file. So this can be some differences depending on the workflows, but we are happy to discuss that if you have a specific need. I think we'll take one or two more questions. So does live capture also support SRT? So SRT is not supported right now, but should be by the end of the year. So that's something we have on the roadmap too. So a question about, can we do live streaming? A question from Alan, can we do live streaming for Woody Ingest Live for live streaming? Sorry. No, Woody Ingest Live is really a recording product right now. So this is really our focus to record feeds, but we are not doing live streaming broadcast for now. How many codecs? Question from Tom. How many codecs can be captured at the same time on one channel? So depending on the configuration and the hardware, we can do only high-res or high-res plus proxy codec, or why not two high-res codecs at the same time on the Woody Ingest Live appliance? So this all needs to be sized precisely, but yes, we can record more than one format at the same time, and it's the same in all the Woody workflows. We support multiple destinations, and we can have multiple outputs for one input. So that's not a problem. Great. We had a lot of questions. I'm really happy about that. Thank you everyone. This is time for me to close this 45 minute session. This was a pleasure having everyone here today. You were more than 100 with us. That's great. This session was recorded. This will be available on our YouTube channel in the coming hours, and also the individual demos that we've done. I hope that you've downloaded the files that I've put for you. Otherwise, you can go to our website to do so. And I hope that we see you very soon for a new demo or for another webinar. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much.